Hey, welcome to the Crossroads Weekly Experience. We are wrapping up today the last week of the series we've been in called Off the Grid, where we actually took real people on a primitive camping experience and we get to watch their lives change. It's amazing. They have 48 hours to break through. It's absolutely incredible. Today's episode is about man camp. Before we get there, though, we have bonus content for you since you're watching online. I've got a guest with me. This is Paco. He's got one name. It's like Madonna or Pele.
Pele is a good one.
Who else is like a famous one-namer who inspired you to go by Paco?
Prince.
Prince.
Except for my pants are looser, so.
That's true. That's probably good. Yeah. You probably want to keep it looser. You lead us in student ministry,
That's
making
right.
amazing content experiences for middle school, high school kids to engage. You guys did a camp thing recently. Give us a little bit about that.
We did. We did something a little bit outrageous. We took 1,100 middle and high school students this summer
what was that?
out to the
That looks
woods,
incredible.
slept in cabins, rode on rides, did a lot of fun things, worshiped God, got off the grid, left cell phones at home. That was a huge deal, and experienced God in a new way.
Okay, so that just happened though, like June,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Was that it for the year for student ministry? Like, there's nothing else. If I want to be involved, if I want to connect with you, I missed my shot.
So yeah, we meet with students every week. So middle schoolers, they have their own spot to connect, explore God, and have fun. High schoolers have their own spot to do the exact same thing, make real relationships, experience God in a real way, and have a good time doing it. And we do that year round.
Okay, so if I'm a student, I'm busy, I got things happening in my life, I don't got time for your church and God stuff. Why should I be part of student ministry at Crossroads?
I totally get that. If you're young, you've got stuff going on. It's school, it's work, it's Fortnite, it's all the things that students do. And God has a plan for your life. And God has a purpose for your life. And all of the stuff that you're experiencing now, all the pieces of your life, they matter. They matter to the world. They matter to God. And God wants to use all of that to grow you and to make you into a full version of yourself. That's called purpose.
That's awesome. I'm sold. So what do I do?
Yeah.
That sounds great. I want what you just said.
Yeah, so if you're a young person or you know someone who's a teenager, middle schooler, or high schooler, and you're near one of the Crossroads sites, check out a building. Go to Crossroads. Look for student ministry. Go online, crossroads.net/student ministry. Find a place to meet. If you're not near a building, that's okay too. Follow us online because we've got some real, when I tell you, we've got some really game-changing things set up this fall.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you.
I know about this.
Don't say I told you so, but I told you so, right?
Yeah, you don't want to miss
It's going to be really
this.
good. So follow us online if you're not near a building, and we'll get you plugged into the community that way.
Thank you, Paco. Coming up, we've got two guests you're not going to want to miss. These two guys were instrumental in starting this crazy experience called Man Camp. Before we talk to them, here's a sneak peek of today's episode of Off the Grid, Man Camp.
So we're on 450 acres that we bought to get away from the grind of civilization and come out here in the middle of nature and poop as God intended on the dirt.
Dude wipes. The dude's got a wipe.
We call this Man Camp.
This will be a unique experience.
Man Camp was birthed as I was literally taking a dump in a frozen bog with Brian Tome. Brian said, "Do you think we can get 200 guys to come out? Will 200 guys be interested?" We're like, "Yes, they're going to be interested." But we had no idea what was going to happen.
I want to talk about the 5 marks of being a man.
Wow, like maybe I've been a boy for the past 35 years.
We're in a society and culture that just numbs us out. Guys from all over the country are coming to just be reacquainted with their primal self, have a challenge, laugh in ways they haven't laughed for a while, be stretched in certain ways, bond with other dudes.
I'm not a camper. Listening to crickets, having something crawl on me, not my forte of things that I want to do.
This is way more important than just a cool weekend camping with your bros. God's here and he's doing something. These guys that are walking in around us right now, I don't know what's going to happen to them, but it's going to be great.
Well, hey, that looked like a lot of fun, didn't it? We are going to watch that whole episode in a bit, but first, we've got two of the guys who are instrumental in starting Man Camp from the very beginning, Craig and Judd, with us to talk a little bit about, like, what the heck did I just see? And man, what?
A lot of guys, just like we're all told to like hold up these walls and be like, "Oh, nothing, everything's great with you. What about you? Did you see the game last night?" We're also told that if you're going to be a church guy, if you're going to like follow Jesus, be interested in Jesus, go to church, you cannot be a guy. You have to be this castrated Christian Ned Flanders guy that like is just honestly, for me, pretty repulsive and boring. So we wanted to create an event where guys can come and experience what it feels like to really live out this stuff with other guys in that way. So yeah, the fact that if you're gonna have a beer at home, then why wouldn't you have a beer? Like if I go camping, when we go camping, there are beers. So we're trying to share the experience, there will be beers.
It's just time to hang out with dudes, to have a beer, to sit around, to like maybe even sleep in, you know, and to not have the weight of the world that's on your shoulders, whether you're trying to figure out what you're doing in college and what you're going to do after college, whether you're figuring out are you going to marry that girl, whether you're figuring out how to deal with having kids, or, you know, now I'm 40 and like, what are my options, or now I'm 50, what are my options? Like, all of that weight, you get a break from it, and you just get to be a dude.
So ultimately, there's something for everybody.
Let's imagine I watch this episode and I'm like, holy crap, that looks awesome. I think I want to do this, or I think I'm into this. Like, what steps should I be taking? Can I do it? Like, what should I do?
Yeah, you can absolutely do it. Tickets are on sale now. They will be off. They'll be closed midnight the night of August 30th. So as long as between now and August 30th, you go to crossroads.net/mancamp, you'll see a button. You click a button. This is where that's one of the ways. You can get there that way too. You can go directly to the Man Camp one, but you click it, you buy a ticket, and then you'll be set up with a group leader, and that guy, who we call a trip captain, will kind of help lead you through the rest of this.
Why would I go to Man Camp? Like, what's the problem that this solves for me?
We're told as men we're supposed to do everything on our own, figure it all out. This is a way to go into an experience that you can come out of in 48 hours and be in a different place in your life. So yeah.
And you've seen that, like guys come in one way, in 48 hours they actually leave.
Yeah.
Changed.
Yeah.
I'd say guys have no definition of what a man is. There's no clear. This is you being a man. You know, in the past, thousands of years ago, even hundreds of years ago, there was a rite of passage that said, you were a boy, now you're a man. We don't have that now. I mean, the closest thing we have to that is like, well, you have a job now, so.
You bought a nice car. Good for you.
And so we have all these like kind of crappy marks that we've made up that are disappointing, super disappointing. And so the guys are living these numb, boring, half-alive lives.
Well, in Man Camp, the foundation of Man Camp, from stuff that I'm going to hear, learn, are these 5 marks, right? Kind of, you talk about the crappy marks. 5 marks of a man. Talk about that a little bit.
So our friend Brian, who you saw in the intro and who is the senior pastor here at Crossroads, developed these 5 marks of a man that came out of what are the 5 common themes that he sees in guys who are living godly lives, guys that are the men that God made them to be. Like, one of the reasons that we're here is to be kind of promoters for Brian, because we're his buddies, and we believe in him, and he's a buddy, but he's also a guy that I willingly follow. And so, believe it or not, Brian can actually be bashful occasionally.
I don't know,
He has been
super
bashful.
Rare, super rare. Just
And
not
so,
about what you would think.
instead, with him not being here, you know what? He's not here, but we do have this
man.
that looks.
That's great.
This is. If Brian were here, this would be here. And you know what Brian would say? He'd say.
He would drool on himself a little bit, and then he would say.
What do you think he would say? You be Brian for a second.
He would say, "It's a great book."
Well, he might say that. He might say that. But I think, but what really his heart is to reach as many men for God as he can, and for these men to live the life that God has made for them.
He has no idea that you brought that picture.
No, he doesn't.
How do you think he's going to feel about that?
Doesn't it look like we're here to celebrate a good man today? No, Brian's still alive.
He is.
He just doesn't like to self-promote, and
doesn't.
that's honestly that's a great
So
thing.
we're doing
about
it for him.
Anyway,
this is like 80% new content.
80%,
I've heard
yep.
goes deeper on stuff. So even if I've already heard the 5 marks, I got the last the dinky little copy that we self-published.
Yep.
I want this one.
Absolutely.
You totally do, and this you can get it old-fashioned paperback and get it on the Kindle. That's what I just get.
Oh, you did it?
And I'm done. I'm done. So done. Pre-ordered. You're welcome, Brian. You can also get an audiobook that he read himself,
That's available.
you get
That's
even
a real thing.
more. That's a real thing.
Judd's on the audiobook.
You get even more flavor of his personality and his heart for this. So
Awesome. Thank you guys. We are going to continue on with today's episode. We're about to jump into worship, and I want to encourage you. This may be an awkward thing for you, singing something to God. You may be here, maybe a buddy invited you to watch this episode, and this is going to be a weird thing for you. I want to encourage you to engage in this. We specially filmed this worship set for you. If you're somewhere you can sing along, man, I don't care if it feels weird. Try it out. If you're not, like if you're at Starbucks or somewhere, and that'd be a weird thing to start to sing out loud in a crowd, don't worry about that. You don't have to do it. But sing along in your head, like engage with the words and the thoughts and what it might actually mean to your life. So let's get ready to worship together.
Out to the unknown, uncertain. We will call to mind your ageless faithfulness to your people, your creation. We will look to you, the author of our lives. Whatever pleases you will be our path. What we have for what will last. We will seek your face and not your hand. Whatever pleases you will be our path. Oh, when we hear your voice, when you call us out to the unknown, uncertain. Call to mind your ageless faithfulness to your people, your creation. Oh, we will look to you, the author of our lives. Hey, whatever pleases you will be our path. Hey, we're trading what we have for what will last. Your face and not your hands. Whatever pleases you will be our path. When you look for those whose hearts are fully yours, when you search for swords to ride, oh, may you stop and see these soldiers for the King, these brothers bound for battle. Train our hands. Oh, train our hands for war, our fingers for the fight, and our fingers for the fight. Train our hands for war, and our fingers for the fight. Whatever pleases you will be our path. But train what we have for what will last. We'll see your face and not your hands. Whatever pleases you will be our path. We sing it again. Whatever pleases you will be our path. We trade what we have for what will last. We will see your face and not your hands. Whatever pleases you will be our path. Yes, it will. Whatever pleases you will be our path. We're trading what we have for what will last. We will seek your face and not your hands. Whatever pleases you will be our path. We're trading what we have for what will last. We will seek your face and not your hands. Whatever pleases you will be our whatever pleases you, my Lord. It's all for you. Oh, I heard 1,000 stories of what they think you're like, but I've heard the tender whisper of love in the dead of night, and you tell me that you're pleased and that I'm never alone. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. Oh, and I see many searching for answers, far and wide, but I know we're all searching for answers. Only you provide, 'cause you know just to us. 'Cause you're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. Yeah, you take me as you find me, and you wrap your arms around me. 'Cause no love compares to you. No love compares to you. No love compares to you. No love compares. You're the reason I sing. It's the reason I sing. 'Cause no love compares. No love compares. It's why I sing thankful. Oh, I am thankful. Yes, I am. When I cannot, you are able. Oh, thankful. Yes, I am thankful. When I cannot, you are able. Yeah. When the weight is heavy, when the fears are many, I find peace beyond what I can see. Though my life's at midnight, break through with daylight, and I find strength, a firm security. Yeah. Oh, 'cause when I'm at the end of my own road, you've given me a future and a home. We sing thankful. No, I am thankful. Yes, I am. When I cannot, you are able. Yeah. Thankful. No, I am thankful. When I cannot, you are able. Thankful, I am thankful. When I cannot, you are able.
Do we own technology? Or does it own us? What if technology could be used to restore, to bring life, to even show us more of God? What if technology could actually make us flourish? Hey, Mom. How's it going? Sorry I missed your call earlier.
Well, hey, that series starts next weekend. We're digging into this thing called technology. Technology is this force that promises progress in our life, but if you're like me, sometimes it leaves me a little cold, and I feel like maybe I'm more stuck than I am getting further. And so we're asking some big questions about how would we use technology to get us closer to where we want to be in life, closer to God and closer to each other. Going to be an awesome series, starts next weekend. Hey, if you haven't, by the way, we don't want you to miss any episode of Crossroads. We want you to stay connected and not miss anything that God wants to show you, do for you through Crossroads. The best thing you can do if you haven't yet is go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button for the Crossroads channel. You just type Crossroads Church into the search bar on YouTube. You can find our channel, hit subscribe. You can hit the notification bell if you want to. That way, every time there's a new piece of content up, you'll know and you can check it out and watch it if you want to. Well, hey, you may have been part of Crossroads for a while, watching and engaging with content. That's fantastic, but I want you to know something. Crossroads is a church, which means it's a community, and no matter who you are, no matter what you believe, you are invited to be part of this community with us. I'm telling you, it's the way to get the most out of Crossroads and the way for you to connect with God the absolute best. So if you're not part of the community, I want you to join. And there's a couple ways that you can do that. One, you can go to crossroads.net and look on the locations tab. And you might find a Crossroads community near you. They would love to engage with you. They'd love to meet you and to help you find your fit in community. Second way you can engage with us is you can go to crossroads.net/connect and you can find other people who live around you and you can add yourself to this tool. It's like a map and they can find you. And within that tool, you can safely reach out to each other, interact, set up a get-together, and have a start of this thing called a community experience. If you haven't done that yet, do it, do it, do it. Well, hey, if you're part of the community, then this is an important week for you. It's an important week for us because this week starts the week of prayer and fasting. This is an annual rhythm for us in which we set aside an entire week for prayer and for fasting about the things that God is doing in and through Crossroads. It's something that we all do together as a church, and we want to invite you to do it with us. For more on that, here's Brian Tome.
Why should we fast? Saying fast, what are we talking about? I can't go over the speed limit. I shouldn't be fast. No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about a spiritual discipline called fasting. Fasting is when you go without something for a specific period of time so that you can focus the resources you want to spend on that thing on something that gets you closer to God. The most popular kind of fast is a food fast in the Bible. So you go without food so that you have more time to actually pray and talk to God. Think about it. When we go without food or something else that we long for, we have these hunger pangs. And whenever we have those hunger pains, whatever it is, whenever we have those things, we're forced to ask ourselves, am I hungering for a cheeseburger more than I'm hungering for God. What do I want more? Do I want a cheeseburger or do I want God? Do I want a sundae, an ice cream sundae, or do I want God? And just that process of asking ourselves where our priorities are and how much we want God is really spiritually healthy. So every year, we have a week of prayer and fasting. Our whole church gets on it. We're going to encourage you to go a week without something, maybe a week without breakfast, a week without lunch, a week without dinner, a week without no food. You can do that. I've gone 10 days without any food before. You can do it. Some people have gone to like 40. You can do it. Maybe it's you're going to go a week without social media. Whatever it is, just set it aside and give yourself a chance to talk with God in a way that you normally don't talk about. What we're going to be focusing on as a church? 3 things. We have huge goals. We want to attract more and more people to our community because more people come to our community have more potential to come to know Christ and be deepened in Christ. Second thing is we want to connect. Attract, connect. We don't want just people to stream our videos on YouTube. We don't want people to just sit in an auditorium. We want them to connect with other people in relationships. Connect in a small group. Connect in a serving opportunity. And then we want to see transformation. We want people to see transformation. And one of the ways we know someone's being transformed is they do things that nobody else in America will do who doesn't know God. And what's one of those things? Giving. We want to see people get transformed by giving. We want to see 100% of everybody who comes to Crossroads give something. We want to see them start the transformation process. So attracting, connecting, and transforming. You and I need this. We need not only the opportunity to be pushed spiritually, but we need to be in a community that is pushing the boundaries of what needs to be come against in a world that is broken and hurting and lonely. We need a strong and vibrant church, and the only way that's built is through some intentional times like this where we have prayer and fasting. So make this a priority this year. Be with the team. I think you and your walk with God will be the better for it, and so will your church.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. Hey, if the week of prayer and fasting is something you want to engage with, and I'm telling you, you should, go to this URL right here. You can find out more information. Hey, you may have been part of the community for a while. I want to invite you to join the team today. The team is a group of people at Crossroads who believe so much in the mission and the movement of what God's doing here through Crossroads that we actually put our money where our mouth is, and we give each and every month to support this mission. My wife and I have been part of this team for about 12 months. I'm telling you, of all the stuff we spend money on in our lives, this is the thing we feel absolute best about. We're certain that we are having an internal impact with our money, and it gives us incredible joy to fund things like this video for you to connect to God and to hear Him in a language that you understand. Well, hey, without further ado, we're ready to get to this week's episode of Off the Grid. I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. Man Camp.
So we're on 450 acres that we bought to get away from the grind of civilization and come out here in the middle of nature and poop as God intended on the dirt.
Dude wipes. The dude's got a wipe.
We call this Man Camp.
This will be a unique experience.
Man Camp was birthed as I was literally taking a dump in a frozen bog with Brian Tome. Brian said, "Do you think we can get 200 guys to come out? Will 200 guys be interested?" We're like, yes, they're going to be interested. But we had no idea what was going to happen.
I want to talk about the 5 marks of being a man.
Wow, like maybe I've been a boy for the past 35 years.
We're in a society and culture that just numbs us out. Guys from all over the country are coming to just be reacquainted with their primal self, have a challenge, laugh in ways they haven't laughed for a while, be stretched in certain ways, bond with other dudes.
I'm not a camper. Listening to crickets, having something crawl on me, not my forte of things that I want to do.
This is way more important than just a cool weekend camping with your bros. God's here and He's doing something. These guys that are walking in around us right now, I don't know what's going to happen to them, but it's going to be great.
Welcome to Crossroads and welcome to our series Off the Grid. One of the coolest things that happened at Crossroads over the last couple of years is thousands and thousands of people have gone off the grid. They've gone to land the Crossroads has purchased with our I'm in commitments and our I'm in giving that helps us connect with one another, helps us connect with nature, helps us push ourselves, get outside of ourselves. And the very first camp experience we did was called Man Camp. And man, thousands of guys have encountered Man Camp in various forms, and you're gonna be able to see this today. You're gonna see guys wrestling with stuff that you just don't wrestle with when you're in civilization. If you're a guy, this would be a great thing for you. Maybe you say, I'm not a camper, I've never been to Man Camp. You're gonna see what it's like today, and you're gonna see this is for you. Maybe you're a woman, you're going, I really have no interest in going to a Man Camp. Well, good, because you're not invited. But you might actually find you learn something about the opposite sex. You might have a man in your life. You might want a man in your life. You might learn a little bit how men tick today. And beyond that, as human beings, all of us share things in common. So no matter who you are, no matter what your station in life is, I think you're gonna get a lot out of this and understanding what God wants to do in you.
All right, I need to get this video done. People are going to say I'm a slacker when it comes to this, but my name's Ray Stolarski. I'm a retired podiatrist, also a retired firefighter, but I still continue to work part-time on the fire department. Marital status, presently going through a divorce. I try and do the best I can with what I've got.
Do you have anything else? All I have is a small little flask for the bourbon. I mean, or I could bring that entire bottle.
That's a huge bottle.
It's a huge bottle that's I've been working on it for a couple of months.
You've been working on it all the way here?
Yeah.
Peter! This is going to be my first Man Camp. A couple of the guys on the team I know from previous, so I'm looking forward to it, looking for a new experience.
My name is Carol A. Todd II, also known as Chip Todd. 46 years old. I am married to a beautiful angel by the name of Janet. I am a Cincinnati police officer, and I'm also on our SWAT team. Yeah, a badass.
You are a handsome man. Stop it. You are just handsome. I got a 6-person.
I would describe myself as a fun-loving bear. One that if you feed me, I'm your best friend. You try to pet me, I'll probably cut your head off. What I'm nervous about, I'm nervous that I will see some flaws within myself that I am not happy about.
Our group is showing up and we've got all kinds of backgrounds. My son-in-law is also in the group, so this will be a unique experience.
See a good son-in-law?
He's okay.
Hey, Andre. Yeah, that's us. Yeah, this is the last guy. Andre.
This is him. This is the mysterious Andre.
Hello, my name is Andres Sandrino. Friends call me Andre. 35 years old, single. My family's from Guatemala. I'm very laid back, almost too laid back. You know, when they played Man Camp commercials and all the guys would go there, you know, and I was never attracted to that. But when I started helping out with the coffee at Crossroads, Lou really started mentioning about Man Camp, and he invited me to be in his group. And I was like, cool, man. If you're gonna invite me to your group, yeah, I'll go.
Sorry guys for coming late. Apologize.
So guys, man, we're ready, man. I'm just excited to be with you guys and hang out with you guys, man. Get to know a couple of you guys better and maybe make some new friends, some lifelong friends. So, most definitely. Yeah. Everybody ready?
Yep. Ready. Are you guys going to Man Camp? Yes.
Yeah,
are you?
We are you?
Can we join you?
Go deep. Go deep.
We have to walk far too, don't we?
I'm thinking it's gonna be a mile in.
Bad man in a little bag. Who you laughing at?
I just kind of going into this with an open mind, and I just hope I meet some people that are just trying to be on the same path to just be a better person, hopefully a more godly person. You know, I've kind of got away from that.
Let's pick up some speed.
I'm already sweating.
You gotta loosen it up.
Stop me from swaying. Why am I swaying all over the place, Alex?
You got a lot of shenanigans going on.
You're not
balanced.
Welcome, man. It is so good to have you here at Man Camp. Do you manscape? Are you manscaping? Do you shave your chest? You do. You know, it's good when a man is self-confident enough to say that he shaves his chest. Very, very impressive group of manly men, an amalgamation of manly men who are going to be moist with sweat.
Give me the blue bag. Yeah, it's hard, man, when you got, try putting that strap across your shoulder.
Like this.
Like this? You good?
This puts the FU in fun, doesn't it, huh?
It does.
Yeah, it does. It seems like a good spot, guys.
I really like to camp. You know, you pick out your campsite, you pick out the spot you're gonna put your tent, and it's like that's your home for the next couple nights. It's just a great reminder that I don't need all the crap that I've got at home.
I'm not a camper. Listening to crickets, listening to bugs, having something crawl on me, not my forte of things that I want to do. When you're at home, you live in the comforts of your home, and you have a bed that's got a pillow top mattress, and the temperature is the way you want it to be, and God and nature is a little different.
This is my tent. You guys get a little private tour of my tent. First things first, important, dude wipes. Because the dude's got a wipe. You know what I mean? My little vestibule. This is, as you might find it unbelievable, a two-man tent. So I always say that if there's two people in here, they better be married. Chip, he was supposed to bring the tortillas, and after several attempts, didn't confirm he was bringing tortillas. So we get here, and he's got tortillas, and since I never heard from him, I brought 2 packs of tortillas. So guess who's packing this out? Chip.
I have never felt the Holy Spirit in a church or anywhere else as purely, as strongly, and as viscerally as I have at Man Camp. Like, that sounds super churchy and weird and soft, but it is anything but if you see it in this context. It's amazing.
So I just want to help you get the most out of your time. Few things. Number one is this. You're off. You're off. You're off from your job that may not be going very well right now. You're off from problems that are happening in your house right now. You're off, you're off, you're off, you're off. Yeah. Number 2, your vices are welcome here. Your vices are welcome. We're not encouraging anyone to pick up new vices or do this, but here's what I know is, you know, if you do Marlboro Reds at home on your back deck, you do them here. If you like having a couple cocktails, you have your couple cocktails here. We aren't judging you. We aren't overlooking you. If we see you getting out of control because you can't handle your liquor, then other men are going to say, hey, dude, man, this like isn't junior high. All right, that's enough. Let's bring up the mastermind behind our ceremonies, Judd Watkins.
Yeah, how's everybody doing? Hey, so one important part about the vices is those are legal vices. Legal vices. All right, last thing I've got to say, and then everybody can just head back to their campfire. I don't care how you got here. If you're the guy that's standing out there that's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Drop that right now. Lean into this thing. If this thing sucks, if you don't get anything out of it, that's on you, not us, not anybody else. So lean into it, make the most of it. It's gonna be powerful if you let it be, okay? Hit your campfires. We'll see you at the pond in the morning. Thanks.
Friendships, I think, with dudes, we're usually not used to being open about how we feel or the things that we're into. Everybody here, all of us, have things that we're dealing with. And my hope is that by the end of men camp, that these guys are open and actually allow people into that space. When I personally do that, there is like hope, there's freedom, there's joy on the other side of that. And with my experience is guys get around a fire at nighttime here at men camp. And once a few guys start to talk and share a few things, other guys are more open and they start to share.
So then arena football to what?
Arena football to selling shoes, to bank manager, to police officer.
You guys, I was a cop for a year and a half. It sucked. It sucked. You do your job, people hate you. You don't do your job, they hate you.
Well, how many kids do you have?
Two. And just found out we're pregnant with number 3.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations.
And at the same time, she's also not going to be employed here soon. So it's a lot of fun at the Zimmer household. A lot of, I would say, stress. Like in a normal situation, that would be very stressful, but it's kind of fun and exciting. I feel like I don't have many standing on a cliff, taking a step off moments. And I feel like this is one.
You know, when you're 18, 20, 21, you're getting out of college, you feel like you've got everything under control and you feel like you've got it all figured out. And I'll tell you what, like right now, I feel like I've got nothing figured out.
So Kelly and I have been married 11 years. And, you know, ever since I was younger, I also had like a problem with pornography and stuff. I just felt God just like gently nudging me and saying like, you've got to open your mouth. I was terrified. Obviously it's a hard thing to share and it's something that any woman should never have to hear, but she showed me a lot of grace and I'm incredibly grateful for that.
I had retired from my practice 3 years ago. May of this year, my wife said to me that she wanted a divorce. We had 7, 1 boy and 6 girls, and we took vacations together, the whole family, grandkids, all the kids, 26 years in a row. I mean, Christmas and Thanksgiving were extra special, and all of that's gone now. So what I've been doing is working my ass off, because it gets mighty lonely at home. Yeah, I don't know, maybe a week ago, I was just bitching to myself, really, but God heard, and it's like He gave me an answer, and it was wah, 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 you know? It's like, really, you know, you got your health, and you'll survive this. I never thought something like this would happen. Did I screw up at times? Yeah. And at the same time, she screwed up. But I never felt there was anything that the two of us together couldn't resolve, and so that's why I'm here.
Glad you're here.
I'm glad you're in that group, man.
I thought it was a really powerful, special night. I was just impressed. I mean, I just thought we were going to sit down and introduce ourselves, and we just got right at it.
How'd you sleep? Good. Chip's out there answering the proverbial question, does a bear shit in the woods?
Yeah. No, he's answering, how do I not shit on myself? How'd it go? Come on, brother. I felt the earth shake. That's all we needed. How'd you sleep, Chip? Sleep? I slept good, guy. Turned off my 50-inch TV. Went to sleep. Yeah, I don't know. Andre is, we lost a man? Oh, no, he went to take it though.
time they say Roxanne, you're gonna do a burpee. So you gotta be lifting.
Hey, I'll let you know when he says it, okay? In case if you're not paying attention, got you right now. I told you right now. Keep going. Let's go again. Come on, get down. Come on, one more time, one more time. I told you, I love this song. This is great. One more time. Man. One more.
What you think about last night?
I thought it was really cool, man. I mean, I'm so used to at work, like, I only let so many people in. You know, I probably only talked to like 2 or 3 guys like about real stuff, and even then I don't even talk about the stuff they were talking about. And I think it surprised me how some of them they put it out there. You know, it kind of helped me almost want to bring out my side. You know, like for them to know that I'm being real with them too.
Okay, what do we got? We ready to rock some coals here?
Everyone good on coffee this morning?
I'm ready.
Absolutely.
So right now we're just getting to know each other, you know, to hear some things, some different stories, some small talk, so that way we can figure out, is it okay to talk to this guy? You know, is it okay to listen to this guy?
The worst part is you're supposed to be the leader of the family, and you come crashing down with something that occurs and it affects the whole family, and family structure will never be the same. So
Seeing 2 people you love so much hurt so much. It's just, yeah, it's awful. But I'm just proud of him for the fact that he showed up in the first place. I know this is way out of his comfort zone, something that he honestly pushed back on at first and didn't want to come here, but I'm so glad he did. I feel like I know him better. I know him in a way that we typically don't share with each other. I'm proud of the man you are, and we're in this together, you know? Love you.
For those of us who are first responders, I believe we are skeptical of dealing with people, because on the job, you know, we deal with some people who I'm not going to open up and tell you anything about me. So we sometimes take that into our home lives, to where we're not talking to our wives, we're not talking to our kids. It's real standoffish because of that's, you know, what we've done 8 hours, 10 hours of that day. And then you get here and then you find there's 3 or 4 police officers that are amongst you, and then you're like, hey, I got somebody I can relate to. So it makes it easier for me to be a little more transparent, because I know the guys that are in my group have walked my walk, and I can now let that guard down and say, this is who I am.
Some of us came in here with shrapnel stuck in our chest. We limped in here. We limped in here maybe physically, or we limped in here emotionally. We limped in here spiritually. And we want to come around you right now, and I want to give you a chance to be bold. If you felt like you came in here today and you just had an arrow in your back, shrapnel in your chest, I want to ask you and invite you to make a strong move and stand so we can stand with you. Just stand right now if you feel like you're one of those people who's on the edge. We're going to pray for these guys right now.
God, I just lift up Ray. God, I just feel like he was cruising and has been blindsided. God, I want you to remind Ray that you are his foundation.
All right now as warriors, you can keep praying, but as warriors, let's go ahead and sing this with new zest. Let's allow our voices to lift to heaven, and let's pray for each other and these guys. God, we want a new day, guys. We want a new day. In many ways, my relationship with my dad didn't set me up to understand my relationship with my heavenly dad. In fact, when we talk about God being good or God being a father, some of us have no frame of reference for that at all because we've never had a father. Others of us, he hurt us. He was jacked. He was absent. He was uncaring. And so if God's a father, that means he's jacked, he's absent, he's uncaring, and maybe that's why I have all of this pain in my life. Man Camp is about you knowing that you have a heavenly Father who watches you, who loves your quirks, who understands your issues and accepts you anyway. And Jesus, when he goes to the cross, he sets up your justice. So in the rest of your life to come, you are good with God. It doesn't matter what you've done or what you will do, because Jesus took care of you. You are good. You're going to be good with God. Just to start us off in Man Camp, or end this little session, we're going to give you time with your dad alone. If you just want to walk for an hour and talk with God in the woods, great. Just get you and God in a way that you could hear from him. All right, now starts solitude. We'll see you.
So the MASH tent is the special sauce of Man Camp. It's just a tent full of guys with a heart for Jesus that are there to pray for you, process with you, help you handle the stuff you've been dealing with. And I mean praying in like an authoritative, manly, powerful way. And it really takes the experience just to the next level.
Later on, I said to her, you know, you could have sucker punched me. It wouldn't have had the effect that had on me. So many people have said to me, you know, good things will come out of this. And you wonder, are you crazy? Good things are going to come out of this? It's just the fact that it hurts so damn bad. After I got done with the MASH tent, I was emotionally spent. You know, when talking with them, I just gave it everything that I was dealing with. Lou gave me a hug after I came out of the MASH tent. That lifted my spirits, which were down in the dumps at that point in time.
I'm happy you're here, man. I'm happy to be part of the team with you, brother. I really am. I really am, man.
Are you in the thing? All right, sweet. Is it going well so far?
Yeah, I mean, well, so
how was your solitude?
we got that quality time that you don't ever get when you're at home. You know, it's always a distraction, some way, shape, or form. And here with that solitude time, there's no distraction, zero. You know, it was you, nice comfy chair, some M&Ms, and me and my dad. We got to talk, and it was real good. I got pointed in a direction of, I don't need to be afraid. You know, a lot of times people think that you see this big manly man that most people won't attempt to try and do some things with. But I'm afraid. You know, there's a lot of fear that I harbor inside of me. Fear of not being worthy, fear of not being accepted, fear of a whole bunch of things. And told me, don't worry about that, he got it. Out of all the scriptures, Psalms 23, that floored me when I saw that. So that's the one I needed.
What about it floored you?
Just the simple fact to know that anything that I'm involved with is right there. And it just made me think about my son when I go and watch him play football. Like Brian said earlier, I can tell how my son walks. I can tell you how my son's breathing. If he's breathing through his nose, out of his mouth. If he's not breathing correctly, I know what my son's doing. So does he now.
That's great.
I've known you for 12 hours.
Oh, sorry. You didn't want to kiss me.
Now here, you're the funny man.
I like to have fun, I guess. It's easy, but then some of that funness, I think, hides. You know, it lets me hide a little bit of fear, or a little bit of the shame, a little bit of the pain. You know, I thought coming here that I would be I don't know what it is about us. We feel like we're the only one that has that issue. And to hear some of the guys last night, I'm like, dude, I think you live with me. And I know you live with me too, and you live with me because we share some of the same things.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's just great to be able to know that there's other men that have those same issues.
What happens is men, we're divided.
Right.
We don't know one another. We don't trust one another.
Right.
We don't have one another in our lives. So when we have an issue, we feel like we're all on our own. I got no one.
It's just me.
In reality, we are on our own because that's the way we've structured our lives.
Right.
And when you come to here, it's like, all right, man, I can get with someone, talk with someone, and it's a lid lifter.
Yeah, you're right.
I want to talk right now. There's two kinds of males. There are boys and there are men. There are 15-year-old men and there are 45-year-old boys. Your age has nothing to do with whether or not you are a man or a boy. What separates the boys from the men? What are the marks? And there's 5 of them. A man has a vision for his life, and a boy lives day to day. A man works, and a boy plays. A man is a protector, and a boy is a predator. Men take a minority position, and boys need to be in the majority. A man works for the team, and a boy plays for the MVP. In the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13, it says this: be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men. Act like men. This is a high calling to be a man. Act like men. You and I are not just women who have penises. We're not. Society would tell us men and women are exactly the same, just ovaries and testicles. That's not true. There is a different calling on your life as a man. I'm not saying it's a better calling. I'm just saying it's a different calling. And the sooner you wrestle with the blessing it is to be a man, and you understand what it means to act like a man, your life will work. God, thank you for putting us in the fraternity of men. It's an amazing fraternity. Help us to squeeze every ounce of joy and meaningfulness out of the rest of our day. Amen.
I think this trip and just being with you guys being open, has just made me give a hard look at myself and my actions. Some of the things I think I should have accomplished by my age, it's a lot of it just because of my own actions, my own selfishness. I just came kind of like to the forefront, I need to, just take a hard look at myself, man. I really do.
Alex, were you a Boy Scout? Maybe. You're just like the outdoors guy.
Hey, why don't you tell him the same answer you told me?
What did I tell you? I don't remember.
You said, it's in the white man's handbook. Everybody knows that. Yes, so guys, we're going to get it. Y'all ready to get it? Let's do this. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Work, baby. Woo!
That's what happens with persistence.
Yeah, we're just gonna send it. That's all we're gonna do is send it.
Earlier today, Brian talked about not having a role model to show him how to love his Heavenly Father. And myself, to this day, I don't know my earthly father. So I have a son. So I say to myself, how do I have a plan to pass on to this 10-year-old boy? And those 5 marks that he provided illustrated a way for me to be able to provide a blueprint or a plan for my son now. Right now I'm struggling because earlier this year my nephew passed, 46 years old. A couple weeks ago, a friend of mine passed. And I'm thinking to myself, what is going on? These are great men. Great men. And why is their tour done? And it's hard for me to understand because these guys have kids. And I have a son, and I don't want my son not to be without me. So, one of the things I didn't want to do was not be there for my nephew's son. And he's now a handful for his mom. I also stood up and promised that I would be there for the Fig son. You know, so now I have to do that. And now I have to also make sure that my son is not neglected. So I have to make sure, how do I get all these 3 kids, these 3 young men, to understand those 5 marks that Brian gave us. I have to do it. Brother? Love it. You wasn't supposed to make me cry. Man, you gonna fight. 87, go deep.
What did you brought mac and cheese or something, right?
Oh no, I don't want to entice you. I've got a little pasta primavera in the tent.
What?
It'll change your life.
No.
In a bag?
One of those.
Stop.
One of those, if you want to bail on that.
He's getting excited.
You see him getting it, right?
Yeah, I do, Lou.
He says all good. Oh, from
Andre.
Yeah, this is
You wore him out.
They broke you down.
They broke you down, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you guys like went and got coffee?
No, they could tell, like, you know, like I had a lot of guilt, you know.
So what's your takeaway coming out of that MASH tent?
It was cool, man. I mean, they prayed for me, and that message that Brian was talking about, being men and boys, and that really, really hit home, you know. But I was like, wow, you know, like maybe I've been a boy for the past 35 years, you know. That really challenged me to change my actions for sure. I want to do it because it's in my heart to do it. I don't want to do it just because it's the right thing to do, you know. I want to do it because I know it's the right thing to do, and I want to do it, you know. If that makes sense.
That's great, dude.
I'm going to give you an army man. And guys, these army men represent boyish behavior in our lives, like what we heard in that message today. So I'm going to pass these around. And Andre, as you take that army man, you think about something that you released in that MASH tent. What boyish behavior you're going to leave behind? I ask that you throw it in that fire.
Just my selfish lifestyle. I want to leave that behind, man. I really do.
From the first time I met you, right, when we have our meetings and you would serve coffee, I said, this guy needs friends. Like, he needs community. He needs men around him that will love him for who he is, that will walk with him, and that will build into him. And just know that you can call on me anytime. And I'm just happy where you are in your life right now. I really believe that that this is just the beginning of something that's going to be amazing as far as your life is concerned. Your walk with Jesus.
Today, when I sat in a MASH tent, I said to Chris, who was one of the guys, that, yeah, I guess it's an understanding that instead of my trying to do things, I'll let God do it. So I'll sit in the back seat and let God sit in the front seat. And he said, well, how about if you do this? How about if you get on the tandem bicycle and God rides up front and you ride in the back, but you both pedal the same? Without a doubt, I can't do anything about my situation, and he's got it, and whatever he presents to me is the route that I'm gonna go. So instead of bulldozing through anything, I'm gonna let God lead the way on the tandem bicycle.
Man, that was good.
So my nephew is 46 years old. He's about 14 days younger than I am. And he died on January 9th. A great, great guy. Great father, great husband. Little fast forward, last week, a gentleman with his wife Liz poured into my family, my marriage. He passed. And I sat here and I said, come on. My nephew, great guy, great father. Fig, great guy, great father. And you're taking all these role models away from me. What are you doing? And these guys who I looked at as positive blueprints are now gone. Now gone. And the guys at the MASH tent just stated that it's not your weight to carry. Dad's gonna give you a plan and you're gonna be all right. You ain't gotta worry about that. So this army man goes from all the negative things that I carry.
Chip, you know, I've been knowing you for a long time, brother. I mean, I admire you, brother. You're faithful in your service and how you serve, how you lead. That's you, man. That's who God made you to be. Going up to Lebanon Correctional Institute, police officer going into prisons to share Jesus with men who hate police. Like, dude, that is commendable. That is taking a minority position. And that's you all the way, man. So, spiritual growth.
What's that? It's gonna be you, brother. Appreciate it.
Love you, brother.
Love you too.
Full out of it. Everyone full tilt.
You like any charge, do you?
Man camp here. Hopefully tomorrow when I get home.
Look for Lulu.
Are you with this group? No, I'm with volunteer.
You appear to have the readiness of a warrior.
When I came here at the start of the weekend, it was with a heavy heart. I'm gonna follow what he has in store for me. I don't know what that is, but that heaviness has been lifted from my heart and from my shoulders.
I've had fears of not being strong enough, not being able to do the things that I needed to do for my family, for my wife, you know, for my friends. And now that fear was ever lifted because our Father does not have fear for us. He does not. He will always be there for us and with us. And this camp showed me that.
Before man camp, I was feeling pretty lost. After man camp, I feel very liberated and ready to make some much needed changes. You know, I know what I need to do.
This thing that we're doing, it just works. You get guys out of their normal rhythms, away from their electronic devices, out in nature, being pushed physically, emotionally, spiritually, and you just see them come alive.
Got to bond with some great guys in the group. We're not gonna let this end. We're gonna continue our fireside chats.
It's refreshing to know that I'm not alone. I have brothers, I have an army, I have a bunch of men that I can lean on. I have a bunch of men that can lean on me, and we don't have to worry about anything because we got a great head coach, and all we got to do is run his play.
Hey, that was great, wasn't it? Here's the best part. You can have that same exact life-changing experience. If you haven't yet, go to crossroads.net/camps and get your ticket for Man Camp. And hey, don't forget about Brian's book. My buddy Brian wrote this book. If you are a man, if you know a man, I'm telling you, this will shape and change your life. I know it has mine, 5 Marks of a Man. We will see you next week for the start of our series on Flourish.